All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've been waiting about 6 months to do this. So we're about to do it right now. I always wanted to be a judge. Let the meeting start. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Eagles meeting. It's another Friday. It's another happy Friday. Today's theme is going to be change is inevitable. For today, we have all the key players, except we are going to have one change. Hamza, could you possibly be the first speaker for tonight?
Okay.
All
Yeah, I
right.
know the change. Why you shuffle?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. So we're
I just want
talking
to say
today.
that
Yes.
I just joined the meeting from my. I don't know. I'm not sure why I call myself FBI right now. I think I didn't find my laptop. I need to use my old PC, and this is something weird that I'm seeing myself with FBI name there. But the thing is, yeah, I'm preparing everything. Actually, everything is ready. If you want me to go.
Awesome. Yeah, you could possibly keep the name. So we've started the meeting, by the way. So we'll return about it. So today's theme is going to be change is inevitable. When we're talking about change, there is a lot of different forms. We're talking, for example, about the first one, which is the personal change. And change does not mean or doesn't indicate that you are being a fake person. When it comes to change, it's a requirement in life. If I were to compare you along sort of the stages that you've had in life and you're going to, let's say, for example, at 7, at 9, at 12, 15, 18, 25, all the way till after retirement. And you compare each one of these stages, you'll realize that you learn the most important lesson, which is having a mentor. And the mentor is mistakes. All right. Now, when it comes to change is inevitable, that is the first one. Change means expansion. That means you expanding yourself and expanding your capabilities. And instead of, for example, being narrow-minded, you decide to go to a Sam's Garden every once in a while and just open your mind and see what's there. Today, we're going to complete talking about the theme a little bit later. But first, we need to talk about the first key players. We're going to start with the grammarian that we have for tonight, which is going to be Sam. Sam, kindly read the script for the grammarian so the guests can understand.
Of course. Okay. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, as a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any misuses of the English language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. Thank you so much. Back to you, Mohammed.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Today, I'll be actually the timer as well. We're going to do it a little bit differently along with the timing cards that we're going to have. So just to tell you about the role, Lemia, as a timer, I'll time the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and evaluations. I'll also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green and then using the yellow and then using the red card, which denote specific times remaining. Table topic speaker would limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. At 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. Those given speeches should limit their remarks to their specific speech times. Icebreaker speeches should be 4 to 6 minutes. Most other speeches going to be from 5 to 7. 5, I'll raise the green card. 6, the yellow one. 7, the red card. And for the evaluators, it's going to be 2 minutes. I will raise the green one, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I will do the yellow one. And at 3 minutes, I will do the red card. Now for the next key player, we're going to have Safi as the all counter. Safi, do please read the script.
Yes. Which script?
Yes, on WhatsApp.
Yes. So I'm gonna explain my role right now. My role is I'm the counter. I'm counting every or other stops, wrong stops between words or during the speech or during someone's speech. So you given us a wrong silent or a wrong fulfill between your words inside your speech while you're speaking. I'm gonna count it. I'm gonna tell you what I count in the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you for
much.
that quick explanation. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Absolutely. So when we're talking further about change, looking at us as human beings, I think we have proven to ourselves that we are adaptive creatures. I remember back when I came to school and also university, the teacher would just go and just say, I would dare any of you to just say that you cannot stay without your phone. I'll just put you out in the desert and they will not be able to adapt. The entire conversation was always about adaptation, right? And then time just goes all the way into the future. And then 2020 happened and COVID-19 proved that every one of us can be a champion and can actually stay home and keep the social distance and even more, give speeches and increase also the awareness of everybody else. This is the biggest epitome of, social responsibility, and also that change is inevitable. So we're going to start the first segment today, which is for the international or formal speeches. And our first speaker is going to be Hamza. Hamza, your evaluator is going to be none other than the champion Vice President of Education. Vice President of Education, would you like to read the script on what you're going to evaluate him based on?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Muhammad, for this very kind introduction. My name is Zaid Idris, and I'm the Vice President of Education. And today I will also be the evaluator for Toastmaster Hamza. I'm hoping that it would be a very great speech. Right now, regarding Hamza's speech, there is certain objectives that I'm looking for. For example, during the completion of this project, Hamza spent time evaluating his or his time management skills. And Hamza will deliver a very organized speech about any topic of his choosing. Hamza will choose to speak about a time management exercise that he completed during this project. And the speech that Hamza will deliver will be humorous, could be international, or could be any other type of his choosing, inshallah. And finally, the speech should not be a report on the content of the managing time project. So Hamza right now is on a pathway and he is learning about time management in his project. We are looking forward to his speech. So let's hear it, Hamza. Good luck.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum everyone. And my name is Hamza Tawfiq. And this is my first project as a formal speech. And I will start the topic. The project name is time management, how to do an effective time management. But for me, what I personally feel, you cannot manage time, but you can manage yourself. The time will pass. You see this? This is an hourglass. This hourglass, the sand is started falling. No matter what happens, I speak, I don't speak, I speak bad, I speak good, I speak excellent. This will keep on moving. Even if I mute myself, I don't speak at all, this will keep on falling. The time will pass no matter what happens. So now the topic which I chose in this time management was the time, when the time is right. What do I mean by when the time is right? Everything in your life, no matter whatever it is, has a certain time. You cannot achieve something out of time. What does it mean? When we were in school, you have seen when we were small and going to school, there was a timetable which taught us a time. There are periods, first period, second period, 30 minutes, 50 minutes. And from the school level itself, we were taught how to manage time. Within that 30 minutes, I have to complete a particular subject, take its note, learn about it, and when the bell rang, completely subject is changed. And the theme of our today's meeting, change is inevitable. That means you have to adopt. For this 30 minutes, you was reading about math, how to do mathematical skill. Suddenly the next 30 minutes is language. From numbers to words. The next 30 minutes, physical education. From words, you go to field. And you have to do everything in that circumference of 30 minutes. You cannot exceed. And 12:30, the bell will ring and the day is over. You have perfectly managed your 4 hours in the breakup of 30 minutes with your education of different subject. You changed in every 30 minutes. You agreed to it and you completed successfully. That was the first lesson of time management given to us, how to use it. Then we go to college. There's a 3 year of period to complete a degree. Then in jobs, we have to go to job 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock. The work is there. Time management in the work is the most important thing. Why? Because being a manager right now, I know how important is there to have a specific deadline for the projects. What I mean, I cannot put myself into a position or into a project which is unrealistic on the basis of time. If I take a project to complete it, that I will do it in 15 days. But this project requires a lot of preparation, resource planning, and then executing, and it will take 1 month. And someone says, no, do it in 15 days. I cannot do that. That's not logical. So I know that time management now learned this is not did not come in one day. It came with practice. It came with experiences. It came with the failure attached to it. I learned step by step to know, okay, now if there's something is coming to me, I know that the previous projects I have taken a particular timeline. I analyze myself, and now I can say to anyone that, okay, this is the timeline, practical, feasible, and doable. Then only I will say yes. Otherwise, again, I will fail miserably in the meantime. Then, now we have actors here, directors here, producers here in our respective team of Eagles. In movies, in comic show, I love to watch sitcoms. I love to watch Friends, Two and a Half Men, or right now I'm watching How I Met Your Mother, Modern Families. These are sitcoms, but you get a comic timing. If the sentences or the words said in those sitcoms said in normal position, you will not laugh. You will not even feel it's funny. But when the timing is right, when the expression is right, when the situation is correct, then yes, for sure, you will get the laugh and you will laugh to hell because you know the timing was right. The comic timing, the perfection of the expression, the way of delivery was perfect. Then only that thing comes out of it. Now, before I close my speech, it's already 5 minutes. What I want to say is that whatever you do in your life, don't try to manage the time. Try to manage yourself. See, this hourglass is empty. 5 minutes over or not, this hourglass will be empty no matter what. So try to manage yourself in a better way. Put yourself into achievable positions, not impractical positions. And then the most important saying which I've learned in my life, time and tide waits for none. It will pass, it will come no matter what happens. Better to adopt, better to change yourself. And the most important thing, the summary, the message which I want to convey is that no matter what you watch videos, you watch TikTok, you read, you do whatever. Don't spend your time, invest your time. What do I mean by that? Whatever you do, read, learn from it, grab from it, and take an experience from it. You will be better a time manager, you will be better in your life, and you will be better all across the territory of your life. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Hamza. Thank you very much for giving that beautiful speech. I think managing time is one of the most important skills because it comes along and close to sort of managing priorities, whether it's in project management or like in your daily life in terms of sticking to a goal and being a goal-oriented person. You must understand the value of time. Thank you very much, Hamza. Thank you very much. Alrighty, so now Sam, you should start, but since your evaluator is taking some time, the best course of action that would be for me, to start before you. Is that okay for you to be the third speaker?
It's completely fine.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we're starting in a second. All right, so for my speech, we're going to have an evaluator who is our guest tonight. She's actually not only a Toastmaster, but she's also a distinguished Toastmaster. She is a medical student, University Union counselor, one of the youngest lady distinguished Toastmasters, table topics champion, first runner-up of evaluation contest at Division G and H conference, Kerala in 2020, Telltale contest winner in Toastmasters International Division G, H, and D conferences, District 121, 2021 recipient of Triple Crown Award, winner of the quiz conducted by the Ministry of External Affairs, New Delhi, top speaker also in a debate contest for youngsters, winner of the anti-drug abuse speech conducted by SK Foundation and RISA among its youngsters across India and Saudi Arabia. She is the best you can ever find outside. Frisia, could you be the evaluator and read the criteria of the evaluation?
Thank you so much, sir, for that humbling introduction. Tonight, it's my pleasure to evaluate our second speaker, Toastmaster Mohammed Al-Azani, who would be delivering his speech from Pathways, Understanding Your Leadership Style. The objectives of his speech are to identify his primary leadership style. The speaker is also expected to share his view about different leadership styles or to share more benefits about his primary leadership style. The time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes. The title of his speech is I Relish in My Failures, and I'm sure that a brilliant personality like our president will deliver a splendid speech tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Right, just give me a second. Okay, so first of all, Mohammed Afla, thank you for joining us very much. What we've decided to do is that I'm going to be the second speaker now, and you're going to be the evaluator in about 7 minutes for Sam, right? So the order has been changed. All right. Leadership. What does it mean to you? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Eagles Club. I think Game of Thrones have done a very spectacular job when it came to showing how much blood was shed over the Iron Throne. So, leadership, what does it mean? What does leadership mean to you? By dictionary definition, it is very simple. It's the person that leads or guides a group of individuals. Another source says something totally different. It says, the art of motivating a group of speakers toward a specific and common goal. So leadership, what does it mean to you? So Jacob says a different answer. He says, it's all about money and power and respect. Someone else says, all right, well, let's give me a second. We'll take a break for this because I need to sort out what's going on in the background. Just give me a second. Sam, could you be the speaker now? Well, I'll sort it out. So your evaluator is going to be Mohammed Afdol. I'm going to sort out the noise. And Mohammed Afdol, can you just be the can you just tell the criteria of evaluation for Sam, so Sam can start.
Thank you so much, Mr. Muhammad, for for being with us today. And I'm taking the mic right now. Mr. Muhammad Afdal, are you with us right now? Could you hear us, please? Mr. Muhammad, could you hear us? Okay, I believe that Toastmaster Muhammad needs a little bit of time for his mic to work right now, but I think that we could proceed to Toastmaster Sam. Toastmaster Sam, are you ready for your speech today? And could you tell me which project is it?
My speech today will be learning from mistakes.
Yes, learning from mistakes. Okay, that's great, Toastmaster Sam. I think I'm going to take an extraordinary decision here and ask you to begin the speech. And afterwards, inshallah, we will hear from Toastmaster Muhammad Afdal about his goals for your speech. You could start right now.
Okay.
Point of order,
Yes.
please. Yes, the timing. Zaid, can you hold on the timing, please?
Yes, Toastmaster Wael, I am doing that indeed.
Thank
It's
you.
okay. I'll be the timer. Thank you,
Okay.
Eric.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So let me first see timer. Is there a timer, by the way?
Yes, Sam, I'll be your timer. Just one question. Who's going to be your evaluator? Is it going to be Mohammed after?
It doesn't seem like he's available.
Yeah, he's here.
All right.
I am there.
So he can hear me.
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. Great. All right. Okay. All right. So I'll be starting now. Thank you so much. Fellow Toastmasters and honorable guest. My name is ever committed a mistake so vile, so just it felt like it made your life change, whether it could be for the better or for the worst. Who knows? We all make mistakes. Think about it. Let it process through your mind. What mistake that you believe that you've committed, whether it be purposely or accidentally, that has occurred in your mind every single day of your life, or you feel regret, remorse for it. Perhaps you lost someone genuine to you and you wish that you treat them better, just like me. I lost my brother, and I wish every single day that I treated him like the way he deserved, joyfully. And I feel very, very, very remorseful for this every day of my life. Or perhaps you didn't study hard enough for an exam. You believe you could have done better, but you didn't, simply because you didn't study hard enough. You didn't put all in your effort, and that resulted in you making a mistake. Mistakes are natural. They're a thing of nature. It's what makes us human. You know, God said that the angels, they're perfect the way they are. They're creatures made of light. They couldn't possibly make mistakes. God is perfect. But we, humans, we're beyond. We're far beyond perfect. We're so imperfect, but that's what makes us what we are. Individuals who've all committed mistakes simultaneously. Every day is a learning experience. Could you imagine if we didn't make the mistakes we made in our past or currently? Who will we be today? Where will we be today? I have no clue. I genuinely have absolutely no clue whatsoever where I'd be today. But if there's one thing I could say about mistakes, this represents all of us, is that it either becomes our pain and misery, or it becomes our means to self-improvement. When my brother passed away, I promised myself that I would never let anyone who was going through what he was going through to suffer the same way he suffered. That was not going to happen again. And as much as I can be an unpredictable person, because I know I am, I would not allow anyone in his circumstances to go through the same thing that he went through. Imagine yourself right now, currently. Just close your eyes for a second. Close your eyes just for 1 second. And feel the way you feel right now. Speak to yourself, think to yourself, all the thoughts going through your mind, think to yourself. Am I dwelling on my mistakes, or am I growing from my mistakes? Am I learning and benefiting from my mistakes? Or am I taking advantage of my surroundings? Now you can open your eyes if you close them. Have you realized yet? Are you bettering yourself, or are you just staying in one place every single day, dwelling on your past, dwelling on what you could have done better? Because you believe, I could have done so much better. I could have been better. I am better, is what we tell ourselves. Is that really true? Is that really true? Think to yourself, am I being honest with me? Am I looking in the mirror? Can I look myself in the eyes? If you had an image of yourself right now, or if you could speak to yourself right now, do you believe you could tell yourself, I'm being honest with you? Our mistakes, they're fine. We're perfect the way we are. We've done so much, we've accomplished so much, it doesn't matter. Or would you rather say, I believe there's room for improvement. I believe that we should try our best, that I should learn from my mistakes, that I should learn to grow, to become an example, a role model to others, so that people may learn from their mistakes. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate your time. Back to you, Mohammed Mazani.
Thank you very much, Sam. Thank you very much. I think this is another lesson that we also need to understand, is that for the love of God, you're still human. As much as you want to just perfect things, as much as you want to just go upstairs and whatever, you're still gonna have to go downstairs. Whatever that goes down or comes down, it's also gonna go up. This is the course of life, and this is what happens. And mistakes are the best teachers, right? If you ask a lot of the people about school and say, what is they remember from back then? Or ask anyone, ask them what they have learned so far, and just see the difference. Thank you very much, Sam. All right. So since I heard already my evaluation, what I'm going to do, I'm also going to be the timer for myself. Second. All right, Miss Evaluator, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I gotta love your energy. Anyways. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, from the back of my mind, I can think of so much that is so complex and that is so hard to understand. It could be talking about work and you just want to get that raise and you worked so hard, but then for some reason, someone else takes the job. It's not you. You think about, for example, okay, it's time for me to get this thing. I've been saving up. And then something happens and you get robbed out of your money. You get ripped off. Or even worse, what could make you so devastated is that it's time for you to buy what you want. You've been saving up and this is the offer. You pay for it, whether it's online or not. And then guess what happens? It turns out to be entirely a scam. And then it's a whole different conversation. If I go back in time and just think about what I was back then and what I am now, I made so many statements back then. I said, I will never do that. And I lived long enough to actually just look in the mirror and see a clown. Just because everything that I had said back then, I realized, okay, it's not going to happen. It ended up happening the opposite way. We live in a time where I happen to be a perfectionist. When I look at the club, I see a lot of perfections. I see Zaid, I see Safi, I see Sam, and I see even more. And one of the things about being a perfectionist in today's society, it comes with a great responsibility in a prerequisite. And that prerequisite is that you happen to be aware of stuff. You happen to be more conscious of your abilities and capabilities, and then you walk to the mirror and say, I do not care. The reason why is because you are overconfident. And the reason why you're overconfident is there is this deep voice inside of you that just wants you to do it. It wants you to do it so bad that you do not care. And this is the strongest thing. In terms of phobias, when we talk about it, and it's one of the greatest leadership factors they have, they make you do something or not. That's why in the brain you have the amygdala part. And this is the phobia part. They make you do this or not because you are afraid. That's why when it comes to leadership that you must understand. Now, a dictionary defines it as an individual that leads or guides a group of people. Now, we're all so good. We're all so great when it comes to leading ourselves. We're good at waking up from bed, going all the way to school, studying for your favorite, whatever, going, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're so good at that. But when it comes to something else, can you be so good to the point that you can, instead of just looking at yourself, you look at, for example, at someone else and take the word self and put it right there at the end of their name? Do you have that ability when it comes to that? It is not an ability. Everyone wants to be a leader. Everyone wants to do that, but very few people know that the cost to leadership is failure. Very few people actually are ready to take it and go further and actually ignore the pain and understand that there's going to be so much that is going to stop you and pull you back. The best leadership thing that I can think of is it's like playing a tug of war. And this is the time that we're playing right now. If you want to keep up and if you want to be the best you could ever be as an individual, as an aspirant of whatever, and as also a leader, is that you need teamwork. The reason why we need teamwork is like playing a tug of war. The more individuals that you have on your team, the line is just going all the way towards you, and the most likely you're going to win. We live in a time where we just so much focus on the internalism, but we forget about the externalism. Externalism means that in terms of inhaling oxygen, it is external. If I talk and speak to individuals, it is external. If it comes to whatever it is, even in terms of learning resources, guess what? It's also external. So according to the Toastmasters technology, I'm an affiliated leader. But what the hell does that mean? Regardless of that, I wake up at 5:30 in the morning, and what I do every time that I wake up at 5:30, I make up my bed and then make up some breakfast and whatever. The reason why is because I need my first win of the day. I happen to be an optimistic, a positive person. And because of the position that I happen to be in, I'm aware is that I am going to be impactful in others' lives. So being an affiliative leader, I need to feel good, because once I feel good, others can feel better. This is when it comes to affiliative leadership. Affiliative leadership means that you're going to put others first. And once you put others first, you're going to focus and concentrate on what? On the harmonious work experience and environment for them. This is affiliative leadership, affiliative friendship, affiliative everything. And the reason why I'm such a strong believer in all of that is because that motto, I have been able to see it right there in the club. I had a recent conversation with Hamza, and I asked him, I said, what teamwork means to you? What is leadership? And he says the answer is teamwork. The reason why is because in the club, you get to see all these individuals They go and they speak and tell you stories. And this is an example of teamwork, is because you get inspired, you learn new knowledge, even when you just do individualistic work as research, whatever it is, you get it from the internet. So this is teamwork. There's you and there's them. So for my speech, when it comes to my style of leadership, all that I can imagine and picture and think of to myself is this video that I'm going to leave you with. And I want you to watch it very carefully. Can you see the video?
Yes.
Yes, we can see.
All right. Now, this is affiliative leadership. This is teamwork, and this is success. The reason why I relish in failure and the reason why it's the title is because I know is that once I fail, I'm not going to just be the only one who's going to learn the lesson. But everyone who's pulling the rope in the tug of war game is also collectively going to learn the lesson. And for that, instead of having individualistic achieving and individualistic awards, what's going to happen is going to be collective. Thank you. All right, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to go to the table topic segment. Fahad, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling so great. Thank you, Mr. President, for a beautiful and inspirational speech, as always. Your your speech really give me a lot of things to think about it. But as always, we really have to capture the moment, and we should go right now to our table topics segment. Ladies and gentlemen.
Just 1 second, Fahad.
Yes.
If you could give us possibly 30 seconds of your time, is that possible?
Of course, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. What I want to do right now, ladies and gentlemen, we want to do the voting for the first segment. So we're setting up the voting right now. We're going to have 3 speakers. The first one is Hamza, the second one is Sam, and the third is me. So you're going to have the screen within 20 seconds, and you can, well, it's right now there. All right. With that being said, Fahad, take the mic. Good luck, man.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, I hope everyone is voting right now. And we will start right now our segment, Table Topic Masters is me. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, our beloved special guests. We always here in this segment learning and develop 4 skills: listening, thinking, organizing, and speaking. So in this time, I will make a small change. Instead of I will ask 5 or 7 questions, I will only ask 3 questions, and I will pick 3 person, and I will choose another 3 person, but I will ask them if they agree or disagree the answers from their fellow Toastmasters. So before I ask the question, I really want to remind everyone about the time. The time is 1 minute, and this is the green zone. 1.5 minutes is the yellow zone, 2 minutes is the red zone. 2.5, unfortunately, you will disqualify. So we really know about change from the history, from the beginning of the history. We always knew that change is coming, but is things change to worst, or things change to best? We really should think about it. And for this, I want to ask my first question about this.
Can I take a chance, if that's possible?
Yeah, anyone can really raise his or her hand and just jump and answer the question. So Toastmaster Farisa, you will be the first one. Thank you for taking this chance and be a leader as always. So my question is, change is coming at any time. How do you recognize this moment that things is changing for worse or for better, and how you will say it and deliver it good to your team? You will have 1 to 2 minutes. Good luck.
Change is the only constant in life. Change is inevitable. Rightly quoted by the Greek philosopher Heraclitus. Dear table topic master, fellow Toastmasters, good evening. If that Greek philosopher existed today, he would perhaps be amazed. There has been the growth of information technology, computers, mobile phones, how we work in a 1.5 meter surroundings, and the latest change being the corona pandemic. Well, I strongly believe that change is always for better days to come. Change always leads you to progress. Change is equivalent to renewal, self-renewal, as well as possibilities for innovation. Well, how do you understand and realize that this is the moment of change? It is a definite factor that we as human beings, as brilliant leaders, we don't want stagnation in our lives. Stagnation definitely leads to depression. You can realize and understand that change is for better days to come when you find progress in your personal and professional life. We humans, since times immemorial, always have a tendency to stick on to the comfortable, to remain in our comfort zone, to stick on to our routines. But fellow Toastmasters, let's understand that if you want to reach your definite success in life, if you want to achieve the bounties, the fruits of success, if you have to relish, savor all the gifts of nature, you have to embrace change rather than rejecting it. As Plato rightly said, nobody likes to step in the same lake twice. Similarly, fellow Toastmasters, embrace change, obstacles, hurdles, difficulties, disappointments, and unravel the true hidden leader in you. Thank you so much, and back to the table topic master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Farisa. She said she believed that change is for better. And she asked us, and she said we should embrace change, not to reject change. Now, anyone disagree or disagree? in 2 minutes delivering a speech or an answer, or I will pick someone. So I will.
Do you want me to answer, Fahad? I disagree, actually.
Okay. Toastmaster Safi Safi, he disagrees. He have now 1 to 2 minutes to tell us why he disagree. Toastmaster Safi, the mic is yours.
Hello and hi, everyone. So the question is change. When do you know the change is coming, and is it always a good change? I think it is. There's an ambiguity about change. Sometimes change, it is a requirement to continue in your life, even if it is bad. If you are in really bad environment, you cannot be that, let's say, that duck between all the ewes. So when you think about change, change not positive every single time. Maybe sometimes it is negative. Even if you know it is negative, maybe you will take that road because you need to take it, because you don't have any another chance or choice, because life adaptation, human need to adaptate to these things. So maybe sometime you will see change coming. You will feel it. Change is something that you will feel. Everything will be different. How you taste food, how you breathe, how you wake up in the morning is different. Everything is just different. When changes come, you will feel it. Even if it is negative, you will feel it. So it is something between negative or positive. Sometimes it is something ambiguous in between that you don't actually understand, or you don't know what the end of it. Sometimes you don't understand change itself. So you will face it, you will feel it, you will know it's happening to you, but you don't know how is it? Is it really affecting your life positively or negatively? It's really hard combination of feelings and everything. So this is my opinion about change and how you know it's coming and how you feel and how you respond to it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Toastmaster Safi. There you got it, everyone. He disagree, and what we really doing right now is creating leaders, not the followers. So I believe, and a lot of people believe, that leaders create more leaders. Moving on to the other question, and I will ask someone will raise his or her hand, or I will pick someone else. So in big corporates or big companies, always the economy have challenges, the world is changing, and some people or some companies cannot follow up with the new brands or the new what we call it, the new age of customers or consumers, whatever you want to call it. So unfortunately, they just became from history, and or they emerged with other big companies. So let's imagine this: if you are a general manager in a company that is on the edge or is dying or something like that, and you met the chairman, or let's say the first leader in this company at the elevator, and you want to sell him, or let's say you want to convince him or her to change the plan of or the slogan of the company, and you only have 2 minutes at the elevator, as I said. What you can do to let him or her to believe in change and really change everything? So how you can, in 2 minutes, convince a leader to change. I saw Toastmaster Sam. He raised his hand. Toastmaster Sam, you have 2 minutes. The mic is yours. Good luck.
In the beginning of this session, we spoke about good and bad activity. So now I'm going to give you a scene and show you why I do comedy. In this scenario, I were to meet, let's say, an entrepreneur, a CEO, and this person is beyond my comprehension. I've never, seen him before, never met him before, but I can tell just from the way he looks and the way his body language speaks for himself that he is most likely a man of power. Now, what I would do in these circumstances, if I'm alone with him in the elevator, well, most people will be awkward and introverted and just stay silent, look at the ground and be like, what's my Instagram? What's my post? Because they're too scared of talking to you. They're too scared. But in this situation, well, let me show you how I use my, my psychology, my extroverted personality to my benefit. I would go up to them, be like, hey, I've noticed your watch. And I honestly can't believe, is that a Rolex? Is that seriously a Rolex? Now, someone like this, people love speaking on themselves. And when they have money, when someone has money, they love validating themselves. This is the psychology of someone who has money. They tend to be narcissistic. So, of course, he's gonna answer back, oh, yeah, yo, I'm from New York, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Could you tell me about your company? Like, how do you make money? He tells me about his company, how he makes money. Then I give him this. Actually, I've been doing business for some time now. I'm trying to be an entrepreneur. I do have an opinion. And from there, he starts speaking to me. We become friends, and that leads to a possible partnership. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sam. I want right now someone who can comment on the answer or the answer of Sam, or they have, if someone have another opinion how to convince the CEO. Probably I will pick our president, Toastmaster Muhammad Al-Azzani. I really want to know how you can, in this situation, to convince like what Toastmaster Sam said, a narcissistic leader that he really don't want to change anything in 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay, just give me a second, let's run the time. Okay, could you ask the question one more time? Because I was focused on the time.
Yeah, absolutely. How can you convince a narcissistic leader or CEO to believe in change? He or she really don't want to change anything in the corporate or in the big company, and also his board and all his secretary and all his partners said,
Yes.
we just survived a big crisis. We will not change anything. So how you just have 1 or 2 minutes to convince
Okay.
corporate to change.
Okay, you got me excited. All right. So, how would I do this? I think for this one, personally, I've grew around narcissists. All right, I admire narcissistic people. It's very fun to talk to them. I would say for this, it very much depends on the size of the company. It depends on what kind of fatal mistake that has happened and more, and whether I am a friend to that person, right? If I'm a friend, for example, to Sam, I can just say outrageous stuff. You know, if someone else says it to Sam, it's like, why would you say that? This is insane. It's an instant fight. Let's say, for example, I'm in an elevator, there is the CEO, and let's say it's a small company, okay? If the company is small and I'm sort of like, you know, a newly recruited person, I would just say, it would be something like this, depending really. Just be like, well, you're looking very good down here. I can have a bet with you. I would say I would run the company way better than you could. And then with their narcissism, it's just, they're just gonna get pissed and they're just gonna notice you instantly, okay? So whether they're on their phone, they would be slightly curious, you know, and you could just like drag the conversation on and just go, well, I mean, if you would watch at least any video and see what Steve Jobs, oh, Steve, wait, you think you're better than Steve Jobs? I mean, not really. And it would just go on and on. It goes like this. If we, for example, saying that the company is large, right? This would depend on the personality, right? But it could just go something like this. If we say that the personality is a hard getter, something like Kevin O'Leary, I would just go, you know, you remind me of myself a lot, okay? Now, this is a very narcissistic comment. You're not gonna tell someone who's in their 30s, right? You remind me of myself a lot when you're 10 years younger, right? And from there, you get their attention and just say, well, I see what you're doing with the company. And then you start with predictability, predicting exactly what they're trying to do. This is with your psychoanalysis skills. So to sum up this speech and conclude it, it's very, very, very easy. It's very easy. If it's a narcissistic human, then just like Sam said, it would be better to just be over narcissistic. And then from there, back to you, Fahad.
Thank you very much. It's really 2 minutes at time. So yeah, I really thought that your move is a little bit what we call it, risky. That if you just tell him or tell her, I can do better than you, probably you will get fired at the elevator. So yeah, you will get fired, or they will believe in change. So probably you said, okay, you know what, I'm in a sinking ship. Is better that they fired me, or they can fix this ship. So well said, all of you. And this gonna lead me to the last what we call it, the last question, or the last, I don't know, I can say the last advice. What the best advice to encourage people, or let's say, what is the best way to encourage people to change, especially if the people believe that this change, like Toastmaster Safi, this change is going to worse, or this change is something at this particular time is bad. So anyone can jump at this moment. I saw two. I will go to Toastmaster Hamza Tawfiq. Toastmaster Hamza, the
Mr. Fahad, you're mute. Something?
Sorry. Toastmaster Hamza,
Yeah.
you only have 1 minute to 2 minutes to give the advice to those people who are afraid of change. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The advice which I will give for people to change, if it is on a personal level, when they are going through a body transformation, hormonal transformation, physical transformation, they are afraid, sometimes don't understand what's going on. They don't know how it will affect their life in the future. I will give them example of butterflies. How from a cocoon, from a caterpillar to cocoon and the transformation to the butterfly, it's so beautiful. We can tell them in your life, whenever the change is happening, it is not for bad always. It's all about perceptions. It's all about how you take it in your life. It maybe see if we see a butterfly in a positive way, it's so nice and beautiful. But if I'm a negative person, I'm not a positive person, I will see that when a butterfly is born, it does not have a species of butterfly does not have mouth. It cannot eat. So in 20 days it dies. So for them the transformation is bad. On a personal level, I will give him example of companies which have transformed to expansionally when they're trying to diversify their product. I'll give you an example of very small, a very huge company in India. It's called ITC, Indian Tobacco Company. Indian government and international government stopped the advertisement for tobacco. Any kind of tobacco you cannot promote anywhere directly or indirectly. They were on the verge of closing. They don't know what to do. So they tried and diversified their business into food products. Today is one of the top companies in India and the world across ITC hotels, ITC food products and everything. So there was a change, there was a hesitancy, but ultimately it made them for a better. Now it's one of the huge country in the whole world. WDHO Wills, all these company comes under ITC now. It was a forced change, but yes, it helped them. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Hamza. Indeed, given the people an example for a successful change for a lot of companies or people or groups is really one of the best ways. I really want to take Toastmaster Safi, his advice, because he's actually from another team. Change not always changed for better. So Toastmaster Safi, can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you have only 1 or 2 minutes for your
thank you.
advice.
Thank you, Fahad. So I actually love how Hamza actually explained it, well, how Butterfly actually started and how it will look in the end. So it is about the angle sometime, but it is not every single time. So how is it? Is it better off for her to stay in a certain point that it was before? Is it going to live? Is life worth it if this cocoon lived for more than 20 days and die because, you know, butterfly cannot eat because they don't have mouth? So is it bad? Is it good? It depends on, is it worth it? You know, when you think about king, a minute of a king life, if I give you a 2-minute with the president of the United States, 2-minute, you will say 2-minute? Like, this is the opportunity of my life, and it is just 2 minutes. So the explanation of how much it's worth, it is about how actually the life of this butterfly worth in this universe. So no, it is not a good change if I'm telling you a president or really important someone who actually leading the world and changing the history will die in 20 days because he's looking more beautiful for 20 days. It's different. Change may be positive and maybe negative. It is not just about the point of view. It is about the impact of how it changed your life, your personal life and other life. So change, it could be negative, positive, or something in between, in ambiguity that will not give you a chance to understand. We will see people in the same point, the same spot, cannot understand if this is worth it or not, if it is positive or negative. It could be this or that. The only advice I will give for someone to see the universe and the world, if he's good today more than yesterday, so it is a positive change. And if it is not, you need to look for a different way. Thanks so much.
Well said, Toastmaster Safi. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to our next segment. But first, I want to ask our President, Mohammed, if everyone's past the time.
Yes.
Yes, I got the answer. Yes, and I need a help from our Toastmaster Wael. Toastmaster Wael, we need to collect the vote. Yeah, table topics. We need everyone to vote. We have Toastmaster Farisa, Toastmaster Safi, question number 1 and question number 2 and question number 6. We have Toastmaster Sam, Toastmaster Muhammad Al-Azani, Toastmaster Hamza. We will vote right now. Okay, I guess now we will go to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Safi. Toastmaster Safi, the mic is yours. Thank you very much.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you so much, Fahd. It was a wonderful table topic, unique table topic. Before I start, ladies and gentlemen, just give me a second, please. Before I start, I'm gonna ask the timer if everyone best from the speakers and evaluator and everyone else.
Yes, everyone else has.
Yes, wonderful. Now I'm gonna give the mic to my friend Zaid Idris to give us the table topic evaluator. Then I'm gonna continue my work. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Safi, for this great opportunity. Today, I'm going to be your table topics evaluator, and I have written my notes right here. I'm going to read some of my notes for you. In the beginning, Toastmaster Frisia, correct me, please, if I'm wrong in pronouncing your name.
Frisia, you have pronounced it right.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Frisia. Yeah. So Toastmaster Frisia spoke about how a person could face change. How could he know that he has faced change, and is change positive or negative? Toastmaster Frisia's volume is a high pitched volume, and that is a strong value in a Toastmaster in giving any speech. So it's great that she has this great voice. She gave a quote that was a very great addition to her speech, and her speech. I apologize. Her speech, in general, you could feel the emotions in it, and you could feel the impact. But I feel like it hasn't reached its full potential yet. So I think that it could reach a higher potential if she could focus more on the impact of the words rather than the tonality of the words. Anyway, Toastmaster Safi then, he spoke against Toastmaster Frisia. He delivered a different point of view. It was more convincing, in my opinion, and he had some great delivery. And he has proven that change could sometimes be positive and sometimes could be negative. And sometimes it could be ambiguous even. Sam then responded with his another opinion, great points of view. It's really great to see a difference of views in here. And by the way, I would like to applaud our table topics master for today, Toastmaster Fahad, for achieving this great environment for taking opinions and different points of views and tipping us against each other anyway. Toastmaster Muhammad also responded against Sam, and he had a different point of view. He spoke about the narcissism and how he thinks that he could deal with it, and his beliefs on this matter. I think that Toastmaster Muhammad, as always, has great delivery, and I really liked his volume and his tonality and the clarity of his speech. Toastmaster Hamza spoke about how to advise anyone who is afraid of change, and how he would give them an example about the butterfly and how it lived her life, and how it evolved from one stage to another. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hamza, for this great analogy. I like analogies in speeches, and this is a great addition to your speech, so that I would mark it a higher mark in terms of the completeness of the thoughts. Lastly, Safi responded again against Toastmaster Hamza, and also gave a different point of view, again, more convincing point of view about how the thing about butterflies could be also seen from a different perspective. All in all, I would like to thank Toastmaster Fahad again for this great opportunity to have an open dialogue for us all. Very great table topic segment today, very different, and I like different table topic segments. I hope that we will see creative new forms of table topic segments conducted in the coming weeks, inshallah. Thank you, Toastmaster Safi.
Thanks so much, Said. Wonderful. Thank you. Now I'm gonna go to the second part here. We're gonna go with the counter with the most fabulous and wonderful member of our club, Safi Al-Safi, to give you the counter. So everyone, yeah. So I'm gonna give the counter for every single one of the members that give us a wrong pause or a wrong or either things that another thing that it's similar to the wrong spot stops in certain spot in his speech. So we're gonna start with Fahad. Whoa, Fahad, we had a lot of fun today. You are a really wonderful table topic master, but you have a lot of awe. I'm counting almost a 16 to 19 awe from you. We have the Toastmaster of the day, Mohammed Al-Azzani, with 7 Then we have Sam. Sam give us, he spoke 2 times and I think with he had a speech, and also he was part of the table topic. We have 8 We have also Hamza. Hamza have also 3 or 4 and also we have I think Zaid Idris. Zaid just spoke as an evaluator. No, he didn't speak as an evaluator yet. He spoke as the table topic evaluator, and we have like 12 and we have also me personally. I have some I couldn't count it, but what I could count when I'm speaking, it is 5. And we also, I don't know, I'm not sure. I think her name is Frisia. Toastmaster Frisia. Am I saying your name right? I'm not really sure. She had
yes, Frisia, Toastmaster Frisia, yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Toastmaster Frisia had 9 asks and stops and pauses, and yeah, this is it. Now we're gonna go to yes. So this is the thank you. I'm gonna go to back to the general evaluator, Safi. Thank you so much, everyone. Now we're gonna go to the grammarian, Mr. Muhammad, the Toastmaster of the day. Do we have a grammarian?
Yes, we do have Sam.
Yes, so Sam is the grammarian. Sam, the mic is yours. Go for it.
Okay, so the analogy for this situation. For Hamza's speech, in the beginning, he referred to time as the time at the beginning of his speech. Now, time alone is not a noun. Saying the time, referring to it as it's the car or the hospital, the time. That's it, just alone. So if you were to say, just refer to as time, because later on in the speech, he referred to time as just time. Now that is correct. Further on, we have Safi. When he referred to a really bad environment, he did not say in a really bad environment. You kept on repeating the sentence, change come. when change come. That's incorrect. It's when change comes. That's present continuous. So also this is my own opinion when it comes, this is vocabulary as well. Saying you could not understand, you could say the word comprehend. It's more of an intensive word using for vocabulary. Now, for Farisa, I could not really notice anything. For me, her tonality, it was a bit difficult for me to be able to notice anything, but it was beyond that, it was good. For Muhammad Vazani, didn't notice any mistakes, didn't notice any problems with grammar. For myself, I said no often, but other than that, nothing there. Any speakers? For Hamza again, I did not notice anything. The speed of the speech was a bit overwhelming for me to comprehend, but other than that, it was well done. So that is for my report today. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Sam. Wonderful. So now, I think we almost got to the last. I will give you the general evaluator of the day, me. I will give evaluation for the whole meeting and everything. And I'm going to start now. So now I'm going to start with the first.
Toastmaster Safi, I apologize, just a point of order. Toastmaster Muhammad, when are we supposed to give our evaluations? Is it after the general evaluator or before?
Yes, it would be better that I start first the timer report, and then we can leave the choice to Safi if we could possibly have the speech evaluations first or later. What do you think, Safi?
I think we should have that speech evaluating first, then we're going to take the general evaluator. It's going to be perfect.
All right, then I'll start with my timer report if you're okay with that. All right. So
yes, absolutely, go for it.
Thank you. So for the first segment, prepared speeches, we had Hamza and we had Sam. Hamza did 6 minutes and 10 seconds. Sam did 5 minutes and 21 seconds. And then for the table topics, we had Frisia and she did 2 minutes and 29 seconds. Awesome. We had Safi and he did 1 minute and 32 seconds. We had Sam, he did 1 minute 28 seconds. Then there was me and I did 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Then there was Hamza and he did 2 minutes 17 seconds. Safi did 2 minutes. And that was for it. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. Now we're going to go to the evaluation of each speech. We're going to start with the first evaluator, and it is Mohammed. Mohammed? Yes, Mohammed Afdal. Mohammed Afdal will evaluate Sam. Mohammed Afdal, are you here? Toastmaster Mohammed?
Yes, I am here.
Yes, thank you. Could you evaluate Sam, if you could? Thank you. The mic is yours.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. Today we were fortunate to hear an inspirational speech spoken by Sam. Sam always usually comes out with such content, which he spoke about perfection, and then that only God can be perfect, humans are meant to make mistakes. And then he also shared the story of the loss of his brother and how he felt. And then he also realized how he could have done better. And the topic of his the speech title was learning from our mistakes. And I believe, Sam, you have spoken to the topic. You summed up emphasizing humans are to make mistakes, but the thing is, We need to learn from the mistakes and go forward. So this was your conclusion. This is what you wanted to say to us. Sam, I think you really excelled in inspiring the audience. You have that great talent of inspiring with that emotion-filled voice, which is suited to the story. I mean, a loss of a brother, loss of a relative cannot be said better than what you said. You did that wonderfully well. What I would like you to do is try to speak with a proper speaking area, which I felt was you were restricted to that small frame of yours, which was a bit portrait, where you can do, where you need to position the camera in such a way that it is at your eye level, preferably standing, if not possible. And then the frame has to be wide enough so that you could cover it up with your where you can move your hand gestures. And then what's more important is you have to challenge yourself to speak to the objectives of the manual. Now the manual says that you need to bring out an experience as a protege or a mentee, in other words. So I did not see that experience was shared. I mean, you could have connected your speech, that wonderful speech, to bring out the experience of a protege. This was missing in your speech. Other than that, wonderfully done. The organizing of the speech was there. Of course, you had the vocal variety. It's just that the speaking posture, the speaking area, setting up the speaking area, and then speaking to the objective is important, because every objective, every speech, every project speech has a purpose which helps you to develop something. So if you don't achieve the purpose of the speech, the project objectives, you will not be developing that skill. So I would humbly request you to re-deliver the speech, re-looking at the purpose, the objectives, and trying to cover. It's just that you need to speak about an experience as a mentee, as a protege. It may be in your life, it may be in your school days, or it may be in Toastmasters. With that, I wish you all the best for your next projects. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Wonderful, Mr. Evaluator, Toastmaster Muhammad. So now we're going to go to the second evaluator. We have Zaid. Zaid, you have 1 to 2 minutes and maximum 2 minutes.
Point of order.
Evaluate.
Point of order.
Yes.
Mr. General Evaluator. The timing for evaluation is 2 to 3 minutes. 2.5, 3, just to correct.
Okay, thanks so much. So Zaid, you will have 2.5 to 3 minutes. You will evaluate Hamza Tawfiq, and the mic is yours.
All right. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hamza. First of all, I would like to begin by thanking you for great progress made on giving speeches. I have been following you for the in a non-creepy way, but I've been following your progress through the speeches that you have given previously, and really great progress each time. You are impressing me with those improvements, and I have noticed how you are learning each time you give a speech to you are learning from other speakers, and you are learning from evaluations, and you are adding new things to your arsenal. For example, beginning your speech. In the beginning of your speech, when you brought an hourglass to your speech, that was a very great we could say a physical analogy or a metaphorical object to introduce to the audience. It grabs attention, but it could use some improvements in what? Improvements in adding more impact to what you are taking the audience's attention to. So how do we do that? First of all, by pauses. I have noticed that you give the speech in a whole, one complete part, and we shouldn't do that. We should make use of our pauses to grab attention to our speech and to grab attention to different parts, to different important parts of our speeches. So for example, when you are saying a quote, when you are noting us to the hourglass, when you are grabbing our attention with an analogy, you should give us a little pause before and after for us to think and for us to pay attention to what you are trying to say. Those points would make your speech better. And in another aspect, in the aspect of when Toastmaster Muhammad raised his green card for you, you talked about how I believe you talked about like the speech. Your speech is right now achieving its final timing or something like that, or that it's in the correct time range right now. So I would like to ask you, Toastmaster Hamza, please answer me right now. Did you do that? Was it planned, or did you do that as a reaction to Toastmaster Muhammad raising his card?
It was not planned. First of all, I was supposed to give second speech, but it came first, so it just the jump came, and I was not ready for it. But yes, I had to adapt to it.
I understand. Very great, Toastmaster Hamza. But I would like to point that if this was planned, then it would have been great and correct. But it wasn't planned, and you did it as a reaction. Never react to anything that happens while you are giving the speech, no matter how long you could go. Remember that no one could ever take you off of a stage. If you are giving a speech in front of millions of people and they are all bored and they have decided to leave you right now and they are raising the red card, just like Toastmaster Muhammad is doing to me right now, no one could take you off the stage. I could literally go on for 2 hours right now and no one could do anything. I guess Toastmaster Muhammad could beat me after the meeting, but in this moment right now, no one could do anything to me. So take advantage of that. Feel like you are in charge of the place, you are in charge of the meeting, you are in charge of the speech you are giving, and never react to anything outside of your audience. You are speaking to your audience, and that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful, Zaid. I think you just give us a really great information that really no one could stop us when we speak. We could take the whole meeting. Now with the third evaluator, Toastmaster Felicia, she will evaluate our president, Mohammed Al-Azzani. Toastmaster Felicia, are you here?
Yes, I'm here, very much here.
Yes, you will have 2.5 minutes to 3 minute maximum to give your evaluation. Thank you so much.
John C. Maxwell rightly quoted, "A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." Dear General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, good evening. A good speech is like an immaculately baked pizza where each and every ingredient comes into play in the best way possible. And hats off to our speaker, Toastmaster Mohammed Al-Azzani, who did a splendid job in highlighting his primary leadership style. Well, what I admire the most in his speech is a very well-structured content. A classic speech begins with a joke, quote, or a fact, and that is what he perfectly did. He started off with a catchy question. What does leadership mean to you? And that itself kept us hooked on to his speech. And throughout his speech, he brought out the primary leadership style, which is the affiliative leadership style. He said about the involvement of leadership skills in his personal, his professional lives, and most importantly, he had a bang-on content, where a bang-on conclusion, where with a video, he highlighted the imprint that a leader can have on achieving success. The second highlight of his speech was he involved personal real-life experiences and enhanced audience awareness and engagement, especially when he said, in Toastmasters too, we meet with each other, we speak, we share ideas. That itself is a form of leadership. Well, that was fabulous. And the third highlight of his speech being the use of gestures as well as his voice, volume, pace, and pitch. At several areas of speech, he utilized his hand gestures in the best way possible to supplement and accentuate the profound message which he was planning to give through his speech. And especially in the area where he said how you can involve leadership in his professional life. I don't care. Those lines and all, it utilized his voice in the best way possible. Now, to take him from a wonderful to an amazing speaker, I have two specific suggestions. The first one being, according to the objectives of your speech, you should have discussed the various leadership styles. But in your speech, you mentioned only about affiliative leadership. You could also have explained about other leadership styles, such as assertive leadership style, transformational leadership style. That would have given us a better insight about the topic. And my second specific suggestion is involvement of pause and transition between different incidents of your speech, especially after the question, what does leadership mean to you? Take a pause, give time for the audience to sink in that message and give time to expect answers from the audience. Other than that, Toastmaster Mohammed Al-Azani, you did a brilliant job. You have all the marks of being a great orator. Well, your next speech will have a stronger highlight if you focus on involving different leadership styles as well as pause and transition. Thank you so much, and back to the general evaluator.
Thanks so much. Wonderful evaluation. Now, I think we're going to go to the general evaluator of the whole meeting, and it's going to be presented by me, Safi As-Safi. Mr. Timer, are you going to start the timing?
Yes. So far we have 3 evaluators. For this time, all of them will be eligible to, for voting. So while we'll set up the voting now as we speak. Back to you.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to wait to the voting. Everyone, the voting is coming now. You will evaluate the 3. You will choose one of the 3 evaluator, Toastmaster Muhammad Afdal, and Toastmaster Zaid Idris, and Toastmaster Frisia. You could vote. Everyone, you could see the vote in front of you. You could vote.
Safi, just for the sake of the meeting time, if you could proceed with your evaluation.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to start it right now. So thank you so much for this wonderful and beautiful meeting, like always. I'm going to start actually evaluate every part of the meeting, starting from when Mohammed Al-Azani started as the Toastmaster of the day. Wonderful introducing. We had some difficulty with, I think he had some issues in the background, and Zaid took it, and it was wonderful, wonderful transaction, no mistakes, everything was right. Then we go to the speakers part. We started with, I think, it wasn't Sam, it was Hamza, and he gave a really wonderful speech, like always. I'm really loving seeing Hamza giving a speech. I'm really missing it when I'm not seeing it for like, I think 2 months or something like that. Hamza giving enormous information of how should you think, and like even his title of his speech, When the Time is Right. It's wonderful. I'm loving what Hamza doing. He had some difficulty in the end, I think, because of the timing, but it was a wonderful speech. Then we had Mohammed Al-Azani speech. Seriously, Mohammed, I think you're the only one who I always, when you give a speech, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just nodding my head. You really have these kind of thoughts, beliefs, and ideas that I usually have. So it is wonderful to see it from another point of view, but the same ideas, but in different explanation. It's wonderful, beautiful. Then we had a speech from Sam. Sam gave us a speech this time. Always, I'm feeling Sam giving us an extra emotions like usual. We're feeling really Sam this time, trying to give us a new kind of speech. Usually I'm feeling more emotion this time. I'm feeling more knowledge and ideas and belief from Sam. Then we got to the table topic. We had Fahad as the table topic master. Wow, Fahad, this is wonderful. A great idea, new idea, and we really had fun in it actually. I even like take a chance to be part of the table topic twice because it's really wonderful. I love debate. I love that kind of table topic. Then we had the first table topic. It was Risa. I think Risa also answered the question correctly, and from her certain point of view. Then it was me. I also make the same question, but from my point of view. Then we had Sam and how he could convince that billionaire by asking about his Rolex watch. I'm not really sure if this is the right way to do it, but it was wonderful. Then we have Mohammed Al-Azani, and also Mohammed did a really weird thing by saying that the billionaire that he better than the billionaire in management. And I don't think that he will have any other chance to meet that billionaire. I think the security kicked him out of the company because, yeah, I don't think this is the right way to do it. Then we had Hamza. I'm going to say it again. I'm loving seeing Hamza giving a speech or speaking. He had that kind of really beautiful knowledge and explanation. How he explained it by butterfly and how the butterfly started as a cocoon and it is ugly and no one loving it, and it's become butterfly. It's beautiful. Everyone want to look at it. It's really the ultimate example of evolution and how you develop. And then came me, and I respond to it. Another aspect, we had the evaluation of each one of them, each one of the speakers. We had Mohammed Afdal, Toastmaster Mohammed Afdal. It was really wonderful to see how he could even look at really, really tiny and certain points of, I think, Sam's speech, and he really explained everything or mistakes or thing could be developed in Sam. And I just say I could agree with everything that Mohammed said. Then we had Zaid also tried to give him really great and wonderful advice that we shouldn't say in this club, that you could take all the time that you need, even if it's red, you could continue. Maybe you are not qualified, but at least you'll have the opportunity to give everything that you have. It was wonderful advice. It is not the good advice that the vice president should say. It is an awful advice, actually, to tell someone to break the rules, but it is right, and it was really wonderful, and I agree actually with it. Then we had Frisia again, Toastmaster Frisia, and she evaluated Mr. President Mohammed Al-Azani, and she gave him really wonderful advice about trying to connect with the audience and ask them a question to give more spirit and life to the speech. So then, yeah, this is my whole evaluation for everything. And thanks so much, everyone. It was a wonderful meeting. In conclusion, thank you. Back to you, Mohammed Al-Azani, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Safi. Thank you very much. I think we're a little bit not ahead of the schedule. We're a little bit behind. Thank you, everybody. And now we're going to go for the voting results. And we have our favorite human being on earth, Weil.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Appreciate all your efforts here, all of the members. For the best speaker for tonight, it's our president, Al-Azani. Congratulations.
Thank you.
For our table topics, it's our lovely guest, Farisa. Congratulations, Farisa, and welcome to our club. For the best evaluation, it's our beloved Zaid. Congratulations, Zaid.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Wahid.
Back to you, Mr. President.
All right. Thank you very much, Weil. Thank you very much. To everyone else, before we adjourn the meeting, I want to say thank you very much, Mohammed Abdul, for joining us. Also, congratulations on the new role, which you're going to talk about probably in 2 minutes. Frisia, thank you, honestly, from Earth all the way to the moon and to Mars and to Elon Musk's house and around the globe for joining us. You're always welcome. I think you very much showcased what it means to be an actual champion. That was absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. With that being said, thank you, everybody, and we officially adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Stay safe. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Fahad.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Al. Thank you, everyone. This is a
Safi, thank
wonderful
you.
meeting.
It was
See you
great
next
fun.
week.
Inshallah.
Thank you. Have a wonderful night.
Same to you. Thanks. Afdal, Assalamu alaikum. How are you? It's been very long time.
We also have the division in direct elect.
Nareesh, how are you?
You're muted, Nareesh.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster. Well, I'm fine. Thank you. How are you all?
Great, thank you.
Great.
Nice to see you all after some time.
Honestly, truly. Welcome back. We missed you, by the way.
So how while I've been, I joined today just to meet you actually. This is the only
Thank you very
place I
much.
believe we
This is
can
an honor.
get in touch with you.
This is an honor. Thank you very much.
Well, Mohammed approached me to attend and then do an evaluation, and I cannot say no. And then I thought, okay, this is the best time and best place I can meet Mr. Weil.
Thank you very much, Habib.
Mohammed, what about the plan for the workshop?
Pretty much it's announced, and we're going to also announce it again. I've reached out to the Falcons president Abdullah, but he hasn't returned back to me. I believe he's been extremely busy. But Wal, could you reach out to him again? We're trying to have an evaluation workshop on Friday, 7:30. If you could also have the Falcons join it. Such workshop, it's taking months actually to arrange. So,
Sure.
Them joining is going to be a very great, token of appreciation.
Sure, I will call him. I know he's busy with exams, but I'll call him. Sure. So that would be coming Friday, 7:30, right?
Yes.
Okay.